Hey guys, and welcome to Gamekeeper Catapult's channel. Today we're going to be showing you how to make natural tree fork catapults with minimal tools. And when I say minimal tools, I mean something as simple as a knife and a piece of sandpaper. We're out in the countryside today. We're going to select a couple of forks. We're going to do one fork with bark on and one fork with bark off, and we're going to take you through the process so you two at home can be making catapults in minutes. So it's time to select a natural fork from a tree branch. What fork do you select? Well, first of all, it's got to be strong enough. There are many types of trees over here in the UK which are strong enough. Here's a few off my head: oak, ash, laburnum, willow, holly, oak. There's many more. Walnut. You know, the list goes on and on and on. There's many trees. However, I'd always suggest that you fully test the fork before you shoot it, but pretty much any hardwood or any tree that bears fruits, nuts, or is strong enough will be fine to make a catapult. Behind me now we have this fallen tree which I believe to be green ash, and it's always good to get your forks from a tree that is already on the ground, because one, you're not destroying the trees or anything, and two, they're already mostly dried out because they've been over and they haven't been getting water. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick look at this tree and see if we can find ourselves a fork or two off. Just had a look around the tree. We found a nice fork down here, and look at that. So what I'm going to do now is nip it off using the trusty fold out viscous saw. Super sharp these, and that is a lovely fork to get started. What a great start. What a fork that is. Nice symmetrical V-cup, about the same thickness, slightly offset handle, holds in the hand lovely. That's a great start, and from a fallen tree is even better because it's already pretty much dried out and ready to work. This tree here is an oak tree. I'll just show you that now. Get a leaf, one of the nuts off it. These are absolutely brilliant trees to make forks with. This is what you're looking for to identify the oak tree. It's absolutely beautiful wood to work. The bark on it looks pretty crappy and scruffy. It's all like bumped up and rotting and stuff. Once you strip it off and start to work it, once it's dried out, it's got some really nice grains, and it's also a very strong wood. So keep that in mind when you're out on the mooch looking for natural forks. One of the good things about selecting your own fork from a tree is you can try it before you buy it effectively. It's like we've got one here now. See, I can put my hands on there and feel, is it what I want, is it not what I want, does it fit my grip? And this one here isn't my cup of tea sort of thing. It's a little bit fat outside. It's also not the comfortablest, but I will find one, so we'll keep looking for another. Now there is some lovely spalted wood along the floor of this little wooded area. Spalted is when the wood naturally falls from the tree or gets broken off the tree and starts to rot. It throws up some amazing patterns, so I'm going to have a little search for this undergrowth up and around here and see if we can find a spalted fork. Yes, we found a spalted one. Look at the markings on that. Spalted is when the wood starts to die and break down, and it throws up some amazing markings. Look at this. It's going to look absolutely cracking finish there. Holly is another great wood for slingshots. That's how you tell a holly leaf. It's very hard to find a good fork in holly because of the way it grows. It sort of grows up straight, then you get the odd branch coming off. It's a very heavy, dense, strong wood, so if you can find an holly fork, definitely take that one home. And we just found another cracking fork. We've got this one here. So what I'm going to do using the fold out saw now is get this one hacked off and put in the bag. So we got 3 forks. Now the next step is to get back to the workshop and show you exactly how to turn these into working tools. You got your 3 forks. The next step is to cut them off to where you want them. A good way to do this is hold it as if you was going to shoot it. And what I always do is add about 1/2 inch onto there, and where the top of my thumb comes, I always add about another 1/2 inch, just enough for the band attachment. And then make sure you measure these are even. And what I'm going to do now is cut the 3 forks down to size. So here's the 3 forks. This one's spalted, so the bark's already off. This one, the bark is going to stay on, but this one we're going to strip. Proper carving knife is better, but this one will do the job. So what we're going to do all the way around is carefully debark the fork, like so. Always cutting away from you. spalted one, which is lovely. Started to spalt some nice patternings. Got the one which I've just stripped, which don't forget was off the dead tree, so it's already dried out. And we got the bark on one again, which was from the dead tree, so it's already dried out. If they're not already dried out, you can do many things like little bursts in the microwave. You can put them in the oven, leave them on the radiator for a few days to dry out. There's many ways of drying them out. There's no right, there's no wrong. The next step, using your knife. So you got the square edge on them. What you want to do is be rounding them off like so. Just enough to take the edge off. Just once you've took the edge off, once you sand them, the sandpaper will do the rest. This is minimal tools, what anybody can make one of these. There's one side, you can see it's already rounded. I'm going to repeat that process on all three of these. So now we've got 3 rough shapes. If you look around each one of them, I've slightly rounded them with the knife, only roughly because the sandpaper will finish it off properly, just so you can get a rough curve for your elastic to go over. The next step is the boring step, sanding over every one for a long time until you get the finish which you acquire. This is where catapults start changing and coming to their own. As you can see, the slightest rub there, you've already given you a good finish. So what I'm going to do now is spend the next half an hour or so giving these 3 a thorough sand over. The higher grit you work them to, the better the finish will be, but that's just your choice on how much sanding you want to do. The main thing is the top inch of the forks on every one, because that's where your elastic goes over, and it's essential that that's smooth with no sharp edges or rough bits, as it will damage your elastic. So they've all been sanded. As you can see, the pattern in these is actually really nice and lovely and smooth. They're cut to my size now. You're going to need to put a finish on them. What I've got in this little pot here is just some teak oil. You can get this from like hardware stores or anywhere, from £1 or so each. It's really, really cheap. It just puts a protective seal all the way around. So what I'm going to do now is cover them all in an oil, just to add a bit of protection. And as you can see on this now, it's actually a lovely bit of grain on that fork. See that? It's going to make a really, really nice fork, that one. So will the spalted one. So what I'm going to do now is give them all a good oil over. As the oil hits this spalted one, it should really, really show what I was on about with the grain of the spalt. Lovely darkness colouring. In fact, it almost looks antique. Beautiful markings, beautiful. Look at them 3 beauties. Camera's probably not quite picking up the grain in some of these. They are really nice forks. So now we're going to need some elastic. These are the most commonly used elastics available at the moment, due to everybody using them for hunting, target shooting. Ferrobangol is probably the most popular thing on the market, so we'll use that. So you get yourself a band set. Got the band sets marked with a dot on each one to put on the top of the fork. This is the wrap and tuck method. I'm just going to do one fork to show you. You can see it in my other videos, in my how-to section, but just this one to show you. You start the wrap and tuck like so. You go around a few times, like so. Turn it over. Get a little bit of string. Go once, twice around the string. Back through the loop, like so. Pull tight. Get your scissors. Cut off the excess. And pull it through. And that is as strong as you like. That will never come off, and that is one side on. So now I'm going to attach elastic to all 3 of these forks, and we'll show you. That one is going to be attached to there now, and there we've got a shooter and he's ready to go. So here's the 3 finished catapults. Not bad for a couple hours out in the country and an hour in the workshop. Costless to make apart from the elastic, but you can even make the elastic yourself. Look in my how-to videos, you can see how to cut it, make it, add the pouch, attach it. There's many ways, and you can get elastic from all sorts of things. But here's the 3 finished products from the little mooch out, like this one. Lovely natural, bound on with a wrap and tuck. These will shoot as good as any Catapult on the market, as good as any £200–300 high-end custom. Got this one, lovely grain in that, some lovely markings again, just holds the hand perfect. Then we've got this spalted one, which throws off some lovely patterns, bit of a dodgy shape, but still sort of fits in the hand nicer with that. 3 little gems, fun to make, and you know, in the right hand you'd take game with any one of these. You could compete at the top end at the Catapult competitions. So I hope this video has helped. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, share the video. Many more stuff to come. If there's any how-to videos you want, feel free to put it in the comments and we'll do our best. All the best, lads. Get making. It's fun, it's free, saves you money on buying from other makers and businesses, and there's nothing more rewarding than going out, hitting the target with something that you made yourself. Take it easy.